Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Monday, June 17th, 2024. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, we cover the rare disease community's push to amend the Inflation Reduction Act, Alex Jones's bankruptcy case and asset liquidation, and President Biden's critique of the Supreme Court at a major fundraiser. Let's remember, birds of a feather flock together, and today's legal news is legal views or something. On this day in legal history, June 17, 1972, James McCord, security director for President Richard Nixon's re-election committee, and 4 Cuban-Americans were arrested for breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. This event marked the beginning of the Watergate scandal, a major political scandal in the United States that ultimately led to President Nixon's resignation.
And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
The burglars were caught wiretapping phones and stealing documents, intending to gather information to sabotage Nixon's political opponents. As investigations unfolded, it was revealed that the break-in was part of a broader campaign of political espionage and sabotage conducted by the Nixon administration. The scandal exposed widespread abuse of power, including illegal wiretapping, break-ins, and attempts to cover up these activities. Journalists Bob Woodward and Bernstein of the Washington Post played a crucial role in uncovering the details of the scandal, leading to increased public scrutiny and pressure on the administration. The investigation led to the indictment of several Nixon administration officials and the creation of the Senate Watergate Committee. The most significant outcome was the discovery of the existence of secret tapes of conversations in the Oval Office, which revealed President Nixon's involvement in the cover-up. Faced with the likelihood of impeachment, Nixon became the first U.S. president to resign from office on August 8, 1974. The Watergate scandal had a lasting impact on American politics, leading to increased transparency and reforms aimed at preventing such abuses of power in the future. Those reforms have had, let's say, mixed results. The rare disease community is advocating for changes to the Inflation Reduction Act's drug price setting scheme, which is causing drug makers and investors to reconsider developing drugs for small patient populations. Companies like Pfizer, Alanim Pharmaceuticals, Eli Lilly, and Protagonist Therapeutics are altering their research strategies due to concerns over recouping costs under the Medicare Drug Price Negotiation Program. This program exempts orphan drugs with a single FDA-approved indication from price negotiations, but those with multiple indications might not qualify for the exclusion, even if they are not yet approved for additional conditions. Opponents are seeking legislative and judicial changes to amend the Inflation Reduction Act as companies and investors shift their focus away from rare diseases and small molecule drugs. Jamie Sullivan of the Every Life Foundation for Rare Diseases emphasized the importance of achieving technical fixes to support innovation. Recent legislative efforts aim to protect the development of these drugs, and companies like AstraZeneca are challenging the provisions in court. The Inflation Reduction Act has made the capital environment more challenging for rare disease drugs, according to John Stanford of the Incubate Coalition. Patient groups and some manufacturers argue that the exemption reduces incentives provided by the Orphan Drug Act, which has historically promoted the research and development of rare disease medicines. These drugs often launch with a single indication but can later be approved for additional uses. Concerns are rising that the current policies may hinder further research into rare diseases. Despite industry concerns, some groups argue that drug companies still have substantial resources for robust R&D and can profit from expanding indications for orphan drugs. A CMS spokesperson stated that the negotiation program aligns with the law and won't harm long-term innovation. Alex Jones' personal bankruptcy has been converted to a Chapter 7 liquidation, meaning a trustee will now manage how he pays the $1.5 billion in defamation judgments against him. Jones was unable to reach an agreement with the families of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting victims, whom he defamed by claiming the 2012 massacre was a hoax. U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher Lopez ruled that Jones' case does not qualify for exceptions to prevent its conversion to Chapter 7, despite Jones's objections. During the same hearing, Judge Lopez dismissed the bankruptcy case of InfoWars parent company Free Speech Systems LLC, allowing the Sandy Hook families to pursue their claims in state court. The judge clarified that there was never a request to shut down InfoWars itself. Lopez expressed the difficulty of the case, acknowledging its connection to the tragic 2012 shooting. Jones' defamation debts were deemed non-dischargeable in bankruptcy due to the intentional and malicious nature of his actions. Following state court verdicts, Free Speech Systems filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in July of 2022, and Jones filed for personal bankruptcy in December of 2022. Efforts to reach a consensual bankruptcy plan failed, prompting the recent conversion to Chapter 7. Jones and the Sandy Hook families had recently agreed on the need to convert his case to Chapter 7, but the Free Speech Systems case remained contentious. Ultimately, the court decided that dismissing the free speech case was in the best interest of creditors. Despite potential liquidation, Jones may start a new broadcast, according to attorneys for the Sandy Hook families. At a star-studded fundraiser in Los Angeles on June 15th, President Joe Biden criticized the U.S. Supreme Court as being out of kilter, emphasizing that it has never been as out of step as it is today. The event, which featured former President Barack Obama and Hollywood celebrities like George Clooney and Julia Roberts, raised over $30 million for Biden's campaign. Biden highlighted the court's conservative leanings, particularly criticizing Justice Clarence Thomas's remarks on reconsidering issues like in vitro fertilization and contraception. He also warned that if Donald Trump wins the 2024 election, he could appoint 2 more justices, which Biden described as alarming. The fundraiser was framed by a video montage contrasting Biden's record with that of Trump, drawing cheers from the audience. Biden noted that the Supreme Court, now dominated by conservatives appointed by Trump, has made decisions restricting affirmative action, gay rights, gun control, and environmental regulations. Obama reiterated the importance of elections in determining the court's power, linking the current situation to Trump's 2016 victory. The event marked the largest Democratic fundraiser in history, surpassing a previous record set in New York City. Other celebrities present included Jack Black, Jason Bateman, and Kathryn Hahn. Despite Biden's low approval ratings and concerns about his age, the fundraiser aimed to showcase the campaign's strength and momentum. Biden and Trump are currently tied in national polls, with Trump leading in battleground states. Both candidates have raised significant funds in California, demonstrating the state's financial influence on their campaigns. And with that, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than Minimum Competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. And reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment, leave a rating or review on your podcast player. We'd sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice because it is certainly not that. Minimum Comp is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and until then, remember, raisins are nature's candy.